It's Filter Free Friday, y'all. I'm glad y'all here. I look a whole mess, like a whole mess, so we ain't even gonna do this today. But what I thought I would do is spend the time kind of educating folks on a few things, and we'll just call it free, because you know what I can't have? Folk in my inbox just being dumb. We have got to raise the level of intelligence. So you know what? When you come on the planet like this little me, who teaches you how to be? Folks often say my mama, my daddy. Now let's just pause here. Everybody ain't got a daddy. Everybody ain't got a mama. Some people raised by their grandparents. Other people, when they don't have a mama and daddy, they get raised by foster care. Now, can we just honor and say that those people learn something different about how to be than we did if we have grandmas and grandpas or mamas and daddies? Other times, people will say my siblings. Some people ain't got no siblings. They only children. Other people ain't got no brothers. Only got sisters, and vice versa. I happen to have brothers and sisters, so that'll teach me something different about how to be. Very often people will start to say things like teachers, but of course, babysitters. Now, my babysitters happen to be two old men and an old woman, Mr. Henry and Miss Gertrude. Now, Mr. Henry, he smoked cigars and taught me how to make pancakes. Now, wouldn't that teach me something different about how to be? Of course, it would. Now, sometimes it takes people a long time to get to things like TV, media, billboards, and song lyrics. And I'm just gonna say that I had to do a little setup in here for this one. I had to go and at least get my marker. Now let's imagine this is the inside of your head. I got this drawing idea from Miss Robin DeAngelo. This is where your prejudices lie. This your prejudice. It's in there. So you can't say to me, as someone did last week, well, Nicole, what if I don't feel like I'm biased, or if I feel like I got prejudice? You got all this stuff going on. So if I said to you, children should be seen and not, you would say heard if you were raised in the United States of America during your formative years, because we have all heard the term children should be seen and not heard. Now, do you believe that? I don't know. But if you do, and I ain't got to ask you about it, and you just regularly say children should be seen and not heard, that would be a conscious bias. If you don't think you believe that, then that still is in there, y'all, as an unconscious bias that you have against children. And so sometimes when you're angry, lonely, feeling sad or hurt, you might behave interestingly when a child is talking about their own personal rights and you don't want to hear it. This all called prejudice. This all is a form of bias. Now, those of y'all who do this work, yes, I'm interchanging terms, but we're trying to keep it pretty basic for those people who ain't gonna Google how this works. So you got unconscious and conscious bias. The stuff you see, this stuff you don't see. Now, let me be clear. You can't say you ain't got no unconscious bias. It's a blind spot. If you knew you had it, then it wouldn't by nature be called unconscious bias. Now, here's the thing, y'all. Other folk can hear what's going on in your head when you open your mouth and start talking. That's where other people start to hear your conscious and unconscious biases coming out. And typically, everybody has prejudice. Can't nobody say they ain't had these inputs. That you were born in Kansas City versus born in New York. You learn something different about what's right and wrong, what's a good pizza, what's good barbecue, what ain't. That's prejudice. Is in your head. Now, let's go ahead and progress to discrimination. I love that. I've always asked these questions. But I love that Robin DeAngelo gave me this idea of drawing these little pictures. So if I draw this little picture with your head, that's you right there, little smiley face. Because, you just so Midwest nice, you don't want to believe you do any of this stuff, but you do. When your prejudices come out of your head, it shows up in who you exclude, who you favor, who you promote, what you value, what you say is good or not, and who you exclude, who you include, what laws you write that say some people get privileges or not. This, my love, is called discrimination. And while this is all internal, intrapersonal, intrapersonal. This is interpersonal. You need another person or group sometimes to discriminate. You need someone else for whom you gon' direct your promotion, favor, exclusion, value, exclude, inclusion, etc. Or two people will get together and treat another person in discriminatory ways. Yes, everyone can discriminate, but we need to talk about this word diversity. Diversity just means difference. You right. And I know some of y'all like to just talk about the diversity you can't see. You want to stop talking about the diversity you can see, but you can't change the fact that there's two types. There's diversity you can see and diversity you can't see. It's easier to discriminate against diversity you can see because diversity you can't see, I can decide sometimes to hide it if I want to. So those of us who are in groups with diversity that you can see, we regularly experience what's called microaggressions, or these little small things that people do to upset us or to be discriminatory toward us. And they happen multiple times a day. And so listen, just because you don't be getting all upset because I'm explaining this to y'all. I just want to be your friend. If we learn this basic fact in school, you wouldn't have to hear it from me. And so some of y'all like, I ain't gonna say nothing else. Folk DMing me talking about they ain't gonna talk to me no more. Listen, Glenn Singleton wrote a book about how to have courageous conversations about race. You can read, it's really directed towards schools, but you can read it in the comfort of your own home to increase your capacity. But let me let you understand, while the baseline level is to have conversation, baby, the ultimate goal is equity. Ultimate goal is equity. Talking is like, do you know your ABCs? Can you say the sounds? That's what talking is. Equity, I need y'all to learn how to read and comprehend. So if we over here, we can't even talk because y'all gonna make it so difficult for us to talk about it. Specifically when it's race, I need y'all to pick up White Fragility. Pick that book up. Now, how am I solving this problem in my whole life? I ain't just getting on this thing on Filter Free Fridays talking about this. This is my life's work. My whole company does this with hundreds, if not thousands of white people every week, y'all. So monitor your little feelings. Monitor your little feelings. It's Filter Free Friday. Call us at Lively Paradox if you want to get some more work done. All right, baby? Love your sugars.